Tonobok, Okowa, the president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, was ecstatic after the gold rush that helped Team Nigeria achieve an all-time best ever record at the Commonwealth Games, saying it left him feeling on top of the world. The women's 4x100 relay team of Toby Amushon, Favour Ofili, Rosemary Chukwuma, and Grace Ukwocha won a historic gold medal, while Ese Bruma also set a new games record in the long jump, bringing Team Nigeria's total medal to 12 and most in the country's history of Commonwealth competition. Tonobok Okowa, the president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, was ecstatic after the gold rush, and I must say that it's been quite a game for Team Nigeria and for the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. Now, joining us all the way from Asaba is the president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, Tonobok Okowa. I want to say thank you very much for joining us here on Newsday.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Let's get
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you. Let's get it started. So many of the names that we've actually read are predominantly women. Women have dominated the sphere in terms of athletics for the last decade or so. And people are beginning to ask questions. Where is the federation getting it right with the women that it seems to be dropping the ball for the men? Talk to us about this.
Well, okay. Actually, before my time, it has always been women and rest of it, no doubt. But for the men, they are upcoming now. If you watch most of the men that we have at the moment, like someone like Udodi, Asher Favour, Gossop Brume, these guys, some of them are still under 20. They are still junior. They are upcoming. And most of these athletes that we have, athletes that are in school, of course, you can see that they did very well in the NCAA. That's for the year, and they did very well. Asher Favour did very well, and some other ones. And then we want to believe that give us another year or two, we'll have a lot of them, and they'll be making waves, just like the women. So let's just give them a little bit of time. We are grooming them. They are coming up. Not too many of them are very ripe now to give us what we want. We want to see what's going to happen in the next Olympics with them. Let's see how it goes. Next year, maybe if they can do a little bit better than what they did in the World Athletics, because next year will be, they are going to be having the World Athletics Championship in Hungary. So I want to believe that we should give them a little bit of time to see what they can come up with.
All right, athletics came in big for Team Nigeria.
Yes,
and the question I want to find out from you, because we know that the president will be honoring the athletes in September. How does the federation build on this to ensure, you mentioned the World Championship, which is on the horizon, and also the Olympics, which is coming in 2024. How does the federation build on this massive momentum, both from the side of the corporates and from the side of the athletes?
Well, we're going to keep working hard. We're not just going to allow them go. But of course, I can see that the corporate bodies are beginning to give us a little bit of attention. At the first time that I came on board, or we came on board as that's the new AFM board, we've been trying to get the attention of the corporate bodies, and it was not coming up. But to God be the glory today, we can talk about some of them that have just decided to give us a little bit of sponsorship. Because whether we like it or not, these athletes, they need good welfare packages, and even the coaches want to see what we can do with them. Because for the coaches, we want to see what we can do at least every year. If we can have resource people come from outside the country to try to do some kind of coaching clinicals for them, twice a year. And then for the athletes, they need training grants. So these are the kind of things that we're looking at. And then we also have the performance director who is living in the U.S. because most of these athletes are in the U.S. And the performance director is the liaison officer there. He's always keeping check on there. We're not just going to let them just go like that. So we must always keep tab to make sure that they are training well with their coaches, try to think about how they are faring and all that, see what we can do. So we're going to try to maintain it like it should be. I don't know what the past boards have been doing, but I want to believe that in our time we're working hard, and then there is a lot of room for improvement.
All right, before we talk about the National Sports Festival, which is very special in the year 2022, a handful of the athletes at the Games, talking about Birmingham 2022, have links and ties with Delta State. What is Delta State doing right that other states seem to be lagging behind in, that are producing world-class athletes?
Well, what are we doing right? We always start from the grassroots. We try to catch them young. If you look at the competitions, well, I'm now speaking not as the AFM president, I'm now speaking as the head of sports in Delta. We always catch them young from the grassroots. Of course, you know, we always have our own sports festival, youth sports festival. We have we try to catch them young, and then whatever we get from that level, we put them together and prepare them for the youth games. That is why we always, from the beginning of from the first time they started with the youth games, it's been 6 editions now, and Delta has always taken all. So same thing is helping as they grow, likes of Ophili, Asher Favor, Gossam Brume, these are at least from a youth game. So if you catch them young and you groom them, make sure they don't derail. Keep them together. At least by the time they represent the state for about 3 years, and then after that, they would have gone past the youth stage, then you still keep them together, still watch them, don't just give up. If you come to Delta State, Monday through Saturdays, in all our stadia, you will see athletes training morning and evening. So if you catch them young, follow them up. By the grace of God, some of them will fall out, but some of them will continue, and that's how you catch them until they hit stardom. And what we try to do with them, most of our athletes too are in High Performance Center, which is in Port Harcourt, University of Port Harcourt. If they cannot go to school in the U.S., where Delta State, like in Delta State, we try to send them to U.S., and some of them that cannot go to school in the U.S., we try to keep them in High Performance Center, and some of them are here in Delta training. If you follow them up like that, there's no doubt you get at least 75% of them not to derail and follow up the academics and sports as career.
All right, as we try to wrap it up, Delta State has been winning national sports festivals. They just won the recently concluded Edo 2020. Now Delta State will be hosting. Talk to us, how special is this to be hosting a sports festival that some are already billing the state as the favorite to win it again?
Well, I'm glad that Delta State is hosting, and it's going to be in my time. Delta State has been going out to different states, and they go out there and win. But in my time, for the first time, Delta State is going to host it. I appreciate the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, especially the ministers on the diary. I appreciate my governor who pushed and did everything possible for us to get the hosting right this time. We're all happy in Delta that we're about to host. Everybody is preparing, waiting, for this to come, for that November to come, so that everybody will see what Delta can do. And it's a lot of people are waiting to see what will Delta do. How is Delta going to host? There are very high hopes. We are all happy. We are waiting. We are preparing.
All right.
By the grace of God, we are going to come up and try to do what other states may not have been able to do. We want to see a higher standard than what other states have been doing.
What I say,
if you remember,
it's unfortunate we're already out of time. But certainly we'll still catch up with you in subsequent bulletins. I wish Delta State all the best and congratulations to you and the board of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria.